I think Orion is a strong character, but he definitely suffers on defense. Like a scenario like that, where, for example, where Ken is applying his rushdown game, Orion has to take a risk, generally a big one.
Yeah.
It's quite hard for him to just block everything out.
Yeah, it's like EX headbutt or sit.
EX headbutt will have really good insight into when they like to throw and, you know, if they're going to go for a frame trap, when you can look for escape opportunities. When can you jump out? Like, you know, when is he engaged too much on the ground to focus on having a counter ready for when you try and jump out? You have to look at those options as well. Every option is viable, it's just the when and the why and the how. It's just in sort of looking at some attention in those areas. Sometimes, you know, when you see a character in full flow, especially when they've got the opponent in the corner, they can look overpowered. It can look really overbearing to try and deal with that Ken pressure when you're in the corner, but there are ways out, which is why Ken didn't win Capcom Cup. People are beating the Kens. So, you know, Ken is a very, very strong character in this game, you know, but even against a very strong character, there are options. And I think that's the main point.
Don't give up. Don't think that they can just do whatever they want forever.
And also, once you do know how to exploit what they can't be prepared for, it's important to use that. It's really important to use. There's no point knowing he likes this here. There's no point having a key to a tendency and not using anything, you know, not using that knowledge to your advantage.
Right.
So yeah, like I think the first step is to kind of have an insight into what sort of tendencies they like to use and working out countermeasures for those tendencies. Like, how do I get around this? You know, how can I bring that to my advantage?
So the DP into critical art, was that matchup knowledge or player knowledge?
That was just pressure focused play. I had pressured him, I had pushed him right to the corner, he had nowhere to go. His movement options at that point were minimal.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to dash, he wasn't really going to jump because he hadn't been jumping.
Yeah.
So I realized that if I pushed him on the ground, I would make him press a button. And he's not going to want to whiff anything because I've got standing roundhouse. Yeah. So he's going to press a button that has to make contact with my body. So if I DP super, it's going to hit.
Jeez. It's actually like really super genius level. Because the whole time I'm thinking, oh, he's gonna do like crouching medium punch, fireball, V trigger. Because you had like, I don't know, like that's what Ken players do. So I'm just looking for that the whole time. I'm like, okay, don't get hit by that, and then of course, boom, I just hit the But you had already like laid it out.
If I wanted to play a more optimal style, I wouldn't have done DP. It's too risky. I would have pressed a button. That I would assume would beat the button I think he's going to press. So just to minimize the risk, because I think this game is about minimizing risk. It is about, you know, mitigating risk and not putting yourself in situations where you give the opponent opportunity to just counter whatever you're doing, innit? So I would try to just like not do a DP super in that scenario.
Yeah.
But the good points there is that will get in your opponent's head. So there's a psychological element to that. And it was for the win. There's a part of that where it's like, if this hits, the game's done. That's important as well. It's important to notice those key points in the matchup where if your next hit lands, it's over. Sometimes you can go for something risky if it's going to get you the win. Sometimes people do some really risky thing which isn't going to kill the opponent. There's no point in that. The risk reward's not valuable enough. So I look at things like that as well. Like, is it worth doing this? Like, you know that if you block or if it whiffs, you're done. So know that what you're going for is going to get you what you need as well, you know? So things like that. And then there's also the opposite end of that where you don't do something because you know it's not going to get you much and so on. But a lot of this game, because the defense mechanism isn't that complete in a sense, it is about looking at how not to get hit by stuff. So sometimes just taking the throw in the mid-screen because you know that when you tech roll, they've got no mix-up and things like that. Like there are situations for that in this game.
Practicing defense is everything.
Understanding the situations. I need to work on that.
Did it all sink in?
Yep.
Did all the information sink in?
Yeah, well,
take a moment.
Yeah, please.
That's why we do this. You know? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the insight.
Pleasure.
Good game.